Hey guys, this is Kirob speaking, and in today's episode of Great Engineer, Terrible Driver, we are going to design a 1965 passenger fleet vehicle in automation and hot lap it in BeamNG.drive on the automation test track. What driver score will I achieve today? We shall find out. 1965 passenger fleet. Well, passenger fleet vehicles need to seat at least 5 people. It's basically like a taxi, but also can be a kind of people mover style with more seats. So it needs to be reasonably comfortable, it needs to be very practical, and it needs to last for a long time. It needs to be super reliable. And let's see what we have in store for that. Kind of eyeing this body, but I think I'm going to settle with this one. 1965, it's just 2.4 meter wheelbase. It's not massive, but it has a large cabin size and still a decent cargo volume. Oh, massive cargo volume actually. But yeah, if you have more seats in there, then that cargo volume would be reduced. But anyway, I think that is the version we are going with, the wagon, the 1965 wagon, as a proper people mover taxi kind of style thing. Fleet vehicle, 1965. Okay, what are we going with? Well, this needs to be a cheap vehicle, so steel it is. And we are going, well, that could be argued. I think it might make sense in this instance to go with leather frame because of the much lower engineering time and just a decreased price, but also it has some utility in case someone comes with some heavy bags. And then you can use your ladder frame stability to still carry that shit, as well as some fat passengers who have been eating too much. What would they have been eating in 1965? Donuts, of course. Chassis material, though. I mean, you don't want this thing to rust, although you could say that it will get kilometers so quickly that it doesn't even have time to rust before it hits the million. But anyway, galvanized steel, it's cheap and it is pretty long living. We are going with a front longitudinal setup. Yeah, that makes the most sense, even though this is tricky. It's like it would be one of the first of its kind if it really came with a front transverse. Front transverse makes sense for a vehicle like this, but if we want to have extra load capacity and all that stuff, then it's more practicality than really load capacity. Yeah, I'm not convinced. I think this one might actually be the better thing. But I wanted to put an inline 6 into it, and that only really fits into front longitudinal transverse. Is rather awkward with a 6-cylinder inline. And now, front suspension. We go for double wishbone. Unfortunately, that might... Well, this is a difference of 10 in engineering time, and this is just a difference of 2.5 to McPherson strut, so yeah, it's still worth it. Double wishbone, and then we go with something simple, like semi-trailing arm in the rear. Independent, yes, but it doesn't have to be fancy. So now for the engine. How about an inline 6? I feel like I've heard that been mentioned before. So, inline 6, how large? It doesn't have to be massive, and in 1965 especially. Do we want to go with pushrod? Probably. We need something super simple. So either overhead cam 2 valve, pushrod, or direct acting. In automation, we give pushrod a slight bonus to reliability, So that might be the way to go here. And we don't need to produce massive amounts of power, and we don't need to rev this thing high. Oh, wow. There's not much engine we can fit in here, is there? Now, if we go with a 2.2 liter. Yeah, okay. 2.2 liter, 7583. And all cast. All cast on the inside as well. Let's start with a compression of 7.0 and a cam profile pretty low. Let's go with 28. And then, yes, injection. Yeah, we're going with injection. No. Maybe, oh, this is awkward, of course. This is really awkward. An inline 6. Yeah, that only really works well with injection, doesn't it? Because then you have it distributed everywhere. Everywhere equally. But if you run into a carburetor, then that is sitting in the middle. And how the fuck is it going to get from here to there? It doesn't work. It doesn't work well, at least. So, what do we want to do here? Maybe we can get away with doing a twin carb setup like this. Eco carb. And then standard, yeah. Could work. That actually could work. How much power do we get out of these? That would still... Oh, yeah, no, that's plenty. It's plenty out of 2 liters. Or is it? Let's try. Let's try. We can always come back to this. 1965, regular 91, and we do want to run this thing lean anyway. It doesn't need any sportiness, so we can go with a 15.0. Yeah, okay, yeah, that should be fine. Then we want to optimize it for something around 2,200 maybe, 2,500. And rev limiter, I guess, would be very low too. Somewhere around 4.5, maybe a little higher, 4.7. Shortcast. Oh, yeah, by the way, this will be very important. I'm not going to use it right now, but that is also an advantage to why we want to choose single barrel eco carbs here and not something more fancy. And that is because we can amp up the quality, and with the simplicity of the setup, that can give you massive boosts to reliability, which is exactly what we need for a vehicle like this. It needs to go... Yeah, I don't think they want to have anything like this go less than 500,000 kilometers. So, okay, shortcast header it is. That's fine. Maximum power, well, that's way too much. Let's set it like this. It needs to be comfortable, so it is debatable if you want to have a dual reverse flow. Engine as is quite okay already. Needs to be a little less knock. Like this. Okay, now we have exhausts. Oh yeah, that's better. Maybe that was what was causing the knock. And we can rev it higher. That's good news. Something like this. 5,000 RPM. Yeah, that's not too shabby. 72 horsepower. Who needs more? Now let's see what this actually does. Yeah, we could go with a slightly lower cam. I like the added bottom end here. Bottom end torque. Makes it a little bit more comfortable to drive. Yeah, it's tricky. Something like this, yeah. I'm fine with 25. This is good. Can we add one compression? Yeah, we will be able to. Oh, this is good. This is dirt cheap currently. This is so cheap to produce. So let's add quality, and you see it doesn't add too much, but what it does add is what we need. That is massive amounts of reliability. This is super good for these early days, but this is only possible because of the cheap base components. So if we go with +8 quality here, I don't think I've ever used something like this in any of the builds, +8 quality. No, probably not. But you see how much added benefit that brings. So this is still good. I mean, we have added a lot of engineering time to it. Oh, no, not so much. Wait a second. That's just a few months. At +8, we have... Yeah, that's basically nothing. That's all good. And production units, just a bit as well. But it's totally worth it. We're going with so cheap base components that that's fine. That's absolutely fine. And that means we can give it some more compression. Now it's knocking. Damn it. Maybe we can do something with the ignition timing instead? Oh yeah, that lifts it nicely. That is a very high fuel efficiency. I mean, it would probably only be beaten if we go direct acting. No, that is optimized for even higher. Well, okay, that makes sense. It's all good. It is all good. Good reliability there. Oh, what am I saying? Good reliability? No, this reliability is through the roof. It's amazing. We might even want to add a slight amount. Oh no, engineering time. Nope, we don't want to add quality to the head. That's not necessary. Alright, well that was done. Oh, wait a second, we need to listen to it. Well, it is long, as you see here, but it fits, and it doesn't fill the bay. So that is important, a factor for servicing costs. As long as you have enough space in there, it's easy to service, and servicing costs are pretty low. So the length fill factor here doesn't really matter that much. Oh yeah, sounds like a powerful taxi. That is all good. Good taxi. So here we go with the wagon. Oh, now we only need a lot of camber, and it's perfect. The camber van. Does it get normal? Okay, I just have to reselect it. But yeah, that's looking a little weird. I have to give you that. I'm going to morph it now. Make it even larger. Do we want it to be larger? Not necessarily. Maybe a little, like this. Well, this car won't be pretty. I can see that already. But it will be functional. Oh, we can... The hearse is coming. Yeah, this is the box we are going to build. Of course, color and fixtures and stuff is coming later. And we could go with longitudinal front-wheel drive. Yeah, I mean, that saves us some weight in it. And currently they have the same stats. I don't know if I want to change that for the light campaign. Probably just going to rebalance a few things with the context of the campaign, because it's so difficult to see what would happen if you change a little thing in those, and then like what long-term effects it has for, like, with the engineering time, what opportunity costs there are, and so on. But anyway, gearbox. Automatic? Probably, because we don't need sportiness. Let's go with a 3-gear Slushbox Supermatic. And open diff, and we are not going to set anything here. That is irrelevant. Oh, 1965. Oof. Well, radial tires are quite nice. Crossply have the added benefit of having a higher load capacity. I'm not so sure. It might be beneficial to go with cheap tires here. Oh well, the size here is terribly small. That is looking better already. Is this the maximum size? Oh yeah, it is. Well, we need to up the ride height anyway. But man, oh man, is this? Oh, this is not the maximum. 145s. I think 155s are a bit better here. So let's go 155, 155. What do they cost? Combined cost 120. Okay, that's nothing. What do they cost? Combined cost 184. All right. And with this 169. So yeah, medium compound is actually something in radials we can we can get. This kind of tire seems to be very cheap already. It's nothing fancy after all. And this allows us to use a lot more brakes in here. Not that we really need them, but profile 100. Yeah, that's a little bouncy. Maybe go with 85? 85 is still... Whoa. It looks massive. It looks massive on this, but it really isn't because the tires are so slim. Solid disc front. I don't... Doing... comfort. Yeah, I mean, for comfort, maybe 2-piston. And maybe worth it, but let's see the price difference. Oh, no, it's not worth it. Okay. Let's go with something like 275s. Because this one may be weighed down quite significantly. And then drums in the rear. The 250. Pad type. Oh, shit. Yeah, that's the problem. We need to be very low on this one. And then we can probably have a brake bias close to 50-50 because the rear brakes are so much weaker. Under tray, no, nothing. Don't need anything there. Don't complicate things. This is 1.5 months of extra time. But here, cooling airflow, all the airflow. We want the engine to never die. Not even on racetracks. And, okay. Well, yeah, that's something I didn't think about. This body doesn't have the option of additional seats in the rear, which is fine because that gives us a lot of cargo space there, which is kind of practical and stuff, but we may have to choose another body after all. Okay, let's move on with this one first. Let's see if we can make it work. And now for the interior. Oh, it needs to be comfortable. And yeah, premium is... Material cost isn't much higher. Okay, let's go premium there. Power steering, yes. Hydraulic, please. Shitty feel in it, but why not? Safety, it needs to be advanced 50s. Yeah, maybe standard 60s is fine. Let's see what they think. Progressive springs, nothing fancy. And a hypercar tune? No, not necessarily. Let's go with the comfort tune real quick. And where do we end up? Ooh, this is terrible. Alright. How does this work? We have bottom... Oh, wow, we have so much bottoming out. Let's go with a normal tune instead. Bottoming out is more contained. Okay, that's better. Let's say, is it ridiculously high? No, it's looking reasonable. And what are we scoring then? Markets. Oh, that's grey. Okay. How do we get this any better? Okay, I see. The problem here is somehow this ended up with a terrible passenger volume and pretty large cargo size. So if we choose the 1960s wagon instead, or maybe this one. Wait a sec. Maybe we can just take this one. It's not as fancy. Not as fancy as this little box, but has about the same size. Still the same engine in there. Alright, let's go over here and try to fix the issues with it and then see if that works better. Oh, first of all, no, still no option for that. Damn it. Okay, here I have found a body that actually supports this kind of setup. Let's see what kind of difference it makes. 78 for the 5+3 setup. And a 5+2 is just ever so slightly worse. A 0. Ooh, yes, okay. So that does make a pretty large difference. It looks like the two-door sedan actually does score quite a bit better. Let's check its stats. That's 92 now. I did change around a few things because of the very low affordability, which is expected for this demographic. It has a pretty wide spread of affordability and is reasonably low, so you can't just throw everything in there. I don't quite like that, it seems. So I went back to, what was it? Right, standard and basic. And they need at least 5 seats, so this is what we got. Let's do some quick morphing. Okay, I made the cabin a lot larger, but now it's looking all weird. Oh no! What's going on with the morphs? Oh no, it's hideous. What have I done? No. It's an abomination. Okay, this is a very purpose-built vehicle, as you can see. No one would ever want to use it for anything else. But it's making as much use of the space as it can. Yeah, it's a box on wheels. I think everyone would have thought this is absolutely hideous back in the day too. It's not very swoopy, is it? Okay, I will have to find some kind of way to hide the ugly truth. And right, yes, one thing I did see. Oh, let's compare real quick. This makes it much worse, yes, as expected. Less drivable like this. But what I did see is something interesting. Automatic is really good for drivability, obviously, and it keeps it somewhat at the same score. But you see, the gearbox is very, very important for reliability, and a 3-gear manual is a lot more reliable than a fancy automatic with 3 gears. But here comes the kicker, right? If we are not selling it entirely to the passenger fleet demographic, then with the automatic option, we do have a lot of different categories we can sell this piece of crap to. So that is something to keep in mind. It looks like they actually prefer to not have anything in there. I mean, the entertainment is the driver, right? That's how it works. These taxis start to remind me a little bit of more the Eastern European style of taxi. Basic and none seems to be the highest scoring because it's the most affordable. And who needs disc brakes after all? If you have fancy drum brakes with 2 shoes. And with a bit more suspension tuning and resizing tires and whatnot. Are we even doing well here? Don't we need a bit of overdrive? And what is this fuel economy? This is awful. Maybe we do need some overdrive. Let's try it out. Oh yes, overdrive it is. But what I wanted to say is that I'm much more happy with this build now than I was before. Let's take a look at this. Oh my god. Oh my god. Well, there's a lot of things that we need to hide in this design. Oh, okay. Well, let's say Eastern European taxi, alright? That is more like it, especially with this interior. I think I need to take another look at the budgets for this category, because this is not what I would expect it to do, how I would expect it to behave. Right, standard safety there, that's fine. And we have no entertainment. Yeah, that's a little weird. Usually you want to have at least... I want to up the budget at least to the point where they would want to have standard interior and basic entertainment. That's the bare minimum, I would say. Oh, we have some issues with fast 130 kilometer an hour. Oh, well, it's reasonable to take that into account for the slingshot, that's for sure. But I can turn that around easily, like this. Boom. There we go. So now it's terminally understeering, even for the fast speed. Although the demographic doesn't like it. I like it better like this. And this is our scoring. Yeah, it's doing pretty well in passenger fleet. It's not the highest scoring. Utility is doing better. But anyway, this is a solid build, obviously. So I think I'm happy with this one. And of course, not so happy about the looks, but we are going to change that right now. And there it is, the Wojciech Merkur. Yes, it is a banana, as you can see. It is a yellow taxi banana, and it's been rear-ended too, from the factory even. But the design on the rear is just terrible. But I mean, probably quite fitting. I don't know. Yeah, some chrome in the in the sides as well. A lot of it in the front to have some kind of appeal for the time period. But man, oh man, this was a. Oh, wait a second, you can't fuel this thing. I need to fix that. But there's more that I need to fix, because what I forgot when doing all the adjustments here, and we discovered that this demographic is actually very much low budget. The inline 6 doesn't fit. My inline 6 variant I made here does fit very well for a vehicle as I envisioned a more premium taxi, because then there is a little bit more comfort and so on going on. So what I'm going to do is definitely change this down to an inline 4, which also will help with fuel economy because we can better distribute that fuel. Now, let's quickly just do that. So we switch down to an inline 4, and that is too little power, I would assume. But we up the bore and stroke, and it turns out the inline 6 was better after all. Alright, well, they have a high propensity for comfort. Yeah, okay. Well, that smoothness seems to be very important. Here we have a smoothness rating of 35. I think the inline 6 gets something around 70. Alright, change the engine around a little bit after all. 117 now. Yeah, that is smooth. Alright, 82. That sure helps if you have a high comfort requirement. Some additional exhaust tuning as well, 118 now. And dual reverse flow makes it nice and quiet. Alright, but now I think we're done and ready to run this around the track. Sorry, I think that rear end. Just have to laugh every time. But I mean, it's the most perfect. It's the most perfect morphs. I mean, I could fix this and just sacrifice a bit of score. Let me actually do that. I hope the fixtures survive this. Let's see. Don't try this at home, kids. It's not a good idea. Oh, more or less everything survived. Yeah, that morph sacrificed us a few score points, but I mean, that's acceptable. Still now the highest scoring category. But, ooh, the driving characteristics sure have changed because there's more weight in the rear. Let's re-optimize this. Ah, it didn't hurt it after all. Very good. 117. And we've broken through to a point where the manual gearbox is the better solution after all. 118 points. Makes it a very nice utility vehicle for some reason as well. Yeah, I mean, I guess. So a final look at the markets before we run this around the track. This is looking excellent. How does it do in Achana? Let's see. Oh yeah, It's a very different car. A city eco car. Okay. Well, family commuter off-roader. And it is time for the test track time. Let's see. Oh, below 1 ton. Top speed 138. Oh, this thing is fast. 140. 145. Will this be one of those cases where in BeamNG we can barely make it to 130? Probably. And it is very slow. Very slow. 3 minutes, 10 seconds and 55. In the glaring light, it looks so much better because you can't see the details. Alright, we are ready to export and drive this thing. The Wojciech Merkur. Oh my god, it is so ugly, but yet so good. There's a lot of space in it, which is everything that counts. Okay, we are ready for a little bit of warm-up, and then I'll head into the time trial. But yes, this is fully automatic. Nope, not automatic. Fully manual, and we have an astounding 3 gears. I don't think we will even see third. Or maybe, yeah, down the straight, probably. But yes, it does sound really nice though. Vroom, vroom, yes! Okay, let's get warmed up and ready to time trial. The Wojciech Merkur is basically exactly the way you would think it is. It doesn't feel as slow as the stats would say it is. Maybe because it is so scary to drive. But no, it is well behaved. It is actually well behaved. Not too boring to drive either for being a slow vehicle. I quite like it. It's oddly satisfying. But okay, let's get into this. And I think I'm ready. Let's get it going. Alright, start! Throttle! Vroom, vroom. There we go. Oh, it almost died. Almost died off the line. And second gear before the S's, slight braking. Good line so far. Full throttle. Yes. You can just stand on it. Look at it. Look at it. Full throttle, keeping tight line. Opening up a little bit so that we gain more speed. And yeah. Second gear. Speeding towards Brian's Bend. Still in second. Brian's Bend. Woo! Yes. And a little bit of braking. And first. And good line. Yeah. There we go. Full throttle. And second. Hammering it in. Now. Caswell's carousel. A little too speedy here on entry without braking. Keep it steady. Keep it steady. Full throttle. Out of here. Yes. Perfect. And now we are approaching third gear. It's coming, I promise. It's coming. And there we go. Yes. Now, high speed. Slingshot is not so critical at these speeds. 138. Yeah, that's it. There's no more in it. We're dropping already. It's uphill. There's not much braking needed for Bavarian Bend coming up now. We need to keep the speed for a long time. And now let's apply a little bit of braking. Yeah, like 90 kilometers an hour. Sounds good. Yes. Second gear and full throttle out of here. It's so easy to drive. So easy to drive. It's great. Okay. Now we can stay in second gear for killer up chicane and braking. That was maybe a little early. Yeah. All right. Go around here. Maybe a little late on the entry and full throttle out of here. Yeah, there we go. So Pomsicle. That must be full throttle here all the time, I guess. I can't see why it wouldn't be. Yeah, that's easy. Okay, braking probably like 60 something through here. Oh, yeah, it doesn't really want to steer. Go on, no, full throttle. Oh, Almost done. Almost done. Very easy to drive though. Very easy. And cross a corner. Yeah, come on. Oh, almost a little fast. Oh, okay, that was good. Now don't forget the braking here. And we're around a little bit over the bumps. Nope, we dodged them. And full throttle towards the line. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. 3 minutes. 12:94. The little abomination, also called the Voschik Merkur. It did perform reasonably well on track. It was not boring to drive despite its slowness, despite the lack of shifting. Yeah, 3 gears. Yeah, they don't, and no power means you don't have to shift much, which is nice. We managed a 3 minutes 12.94 in BeamNG as compared to a 3 minutes 10.55 in automation, and that leads us to a driver score of 98.8. Yeah, I have a favor for the slower cars. Alright, as always, you will find this car as a .car file download in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed, and see you guys next time.